Hello guys, and welcome to another formation review video from SimplyFifa. And in this video we will be talking about the 4-3-3 formation. This is actually the third video in the series, and 2 episodes have already been done for this in FIFA 12, and they were kind of done towards the end of FIFA 12, so we didn't really get to do more of them. And this time around, hopefully we can actually get more formation reviews up. For the previous 2 videos, I'll probably have a link in the description or somewhere in the video. And now for most of the footage here, I'll be using an Italian Swiss bronze team and an average BPL goal squad. I kind of don't want to dwell too much on the particular players that I have in the squad itself, but rather on the formation itself. So let's get down to business. In general, this is actually a good attacking formation, in my opinion anyways. And I will start on the main distinctive features of the 4-3-3 formation. The obvious one here being the 3-man midfield, central midfield in this case, and the wide players, the left winger and right winger up top, and the lone striker right in the middle. What does this mean for one playing this formation? Generally, you have a numerical advantage in the middle of the pack with the central midfielders against most systems. So if you love the short passing game from your defense to your mid, then you will have the numbers on the field for that. What I like as well is that the midfield do attack as a team, so if you want to bring the cavalry down on your opponents' defense, it does work well, as in most situations I kind of found myself having 6 players up front going at the opponent's defense.
Great chance. We can have a crack here. Wonderful goal. Well, they're taking advantage here with a great goal.
Well, we don't always see the advantage come good, but they've made use of it here, haven't they?
Now, you're not always going to be attacking all the time, especially against the better opponents or when you're just having a bad day in general. So for me anyways, it's always advisable or important to have or play a defensive midfielder, and more often what works is having the most central midfielder as the defensive midfielder for you, because you want someone to pick up the loose balls in midfield and act as another defender in front of the back four, sort of dictating the pace and flow of the game and distributing the ball in all areas of the pitch.
Quick thinking.
Someone else may prefer to have that central guy as the attacking midfielder, the one who will make runs up front to quickly support the attacking players, as you'll see in the following situation, and then have the other 2 as the more defensive minded players on the team. At this point, it's really whatever someone feels comfortable playing with for their game style. As mentioned earlier, I myself prefer to have the 2 flanking midfielders as attacking midfielders, preferably good box-to-box midfielders whose job is to both defend and attack. And these 2 players are the ones who should be getting into advanced areas regularly with the aim of feeding off the wide wing players. It's also their job to set up or construct the attacking moves, and in this following situation, you can see straight off from a throw-in deep in my own off, I get the ball to my defensive midfielder, who gets the ball up to Ben Afra, and look at the advanced position Dembele, my central midfielder, who is an attacking midfielder, can get up, is already in, making the run forward to give the winger options up front, once again highlighting how much of an attacking formation this is. Right, let's talk about the striker in this formation for a second, and by extension the wingers. What I found most of the time here was that my striker was the one who was always tracking back to the advanced midfield position to retrieve the ball from the midfielders. The situation that arose from this most of the time was that either one of the wingers would then move into the more central position to retrieve the ball from the striker, making them the last man attacking the goal. What does this mean in general? Well, from my assumptions, before ever trying out the 4-3-3, was that the wingers would be limited to cross abusing most of the time, as they are always positioned out wide. But that's not the case here. This actually allows for a more direct approach on goal, rather than them going for a cross down the wing all the time. I'm not actually saying that wing play or running down the wing and crossing is actually bad. I'm just saying that there's different ways you can actually go about actually playing the 4-3-3. Now, you can't talk about the 4-3-3 without mentioning the significance of the width in your team provided by the wingers. Having these wide players out wide does help stretch the opponent's defense. What this means is someone defending against this formation is always kept busy by tracking your winger while trying to keep a tight defense at the same time. And in addition, you have your midfielders coming in hoping to obviously receive a cross from the wide player, so it does keep the opponent quite busy in that aspect. And this is helped by the fact that, as briefly mentioned earlier, that the wingers in this formation are generally fast players who are always ready for the quick attacks. Let's move on to defending for a second here. Generally, it's not a bad formation in terms of defending. I was pretty comfortable most of the time using this. Not saying that I didn't lose any games, of course I did. You have your standard 4 at the back, but one thing I did find, which isn't that critical, but it does and will happen with this formation from time to time, is with quick attacks or counter attacks against you, the fullbacks can be exposed quite frequently from time to time, because the thing to note here is the concentration of your center mids is in the middle of the park, in the highlighted areas, in the highlighted zone, but then you have the two flanks not entirely protected by a wide winger, because they are far up the pitch at the other end, making it difficult for them to come back and quickly protect the fullbacks.
Working hard to keep possession against the challenge. It's gone for a corner.
However, this can also be a good thing attacking wise, as this gives your fullbacks license to move forward because of the void left behind by your wingers. So if you have fullbacks with decent work rates in terms of going forward, then this can be good for you as well, as there is lots of space for them to bombard the wings and get forward. As you can see in this situation, I have my left back making a run here. Watch what happens when I switch play to the right and look at the advanced position the right back, I think it was Raphael in this instance, also making use of that space. So this void can make for an offensive backline as well. So the key thing here is the transition in play between the opponent's possession and you regaining the ball. This can easily be translated into you having a counter attack against the opponent because of the wide players already up front, up top, and the running fullbacks. Overall, I have to say I pretty much enjoy using the 4-3-3 because of the attacking abilities and the width it presents you with when going forward. When defending from the midfield, if you're not caught on the quick break, you can find yourself having 5 men in midfield, as your wingers do actually get time to track back. That's giving you more options in the middle of the park when actually building up play. But this actually leads me to my next point, something now I'm not entirely happy about with the lone striker. If you have wingers who have dropped back to support the midfield, when you do regain possession and get the ball up front, you can often find your striker isolated, so you kind of need a striker that's good in holding and shielding the ball till support arrives. It's not so much of a deal breaker though, but you will find yourself in that situation from time to time. Maybe it's because I've gotten used to using formations that have a center forward who's always ready to feed off the striker and make runs behind the central defense. The wingers do this job to some extent, but not as good as having a center forward lying behind the striker. But of course the wingers do shine when it comes to stretching the defense and providing width for your team. This formation overall, it is good for counter-attacks, gives you lots of crossing opportunities. The 3 central midfielders attack and defend as a unit, which however can be a minus as they tend to tire a lot. And you do also need wingers with good stamina as well, because of the quick breaks they're always involved in as they make runs down the wing. I won't give this formation an 8 out of 10 as I do have a lot of fun playing it. Don't ask me how I got an offside there, as there clearly was a defender on the goal line. That's EA logic for you. Anyways guys, this is coming to an end. Hope you enjoyed listening to my views on the 4-3-3 formation, and don't forget to leave your feedback in the comments, and also visit SimplyFifa. The URL will be in the description. And stay tuned as well for the next formation review, which hopefully should be coming out next week or the week after. Cheers and thanks a lot, guys.
He scored! Well, he wants to take the penalties, and you can see why. He's got a very good record. He's just extended that here.
Goalkeepers do so much homework on where a player puts the ball, but he could do nothing about that. Caps a great performance, that goal. No way back. It hasn't been for quite some time for the losing team.
When we talked at the start of the season, Alan, about this team, we thought maybe mid-table, maybe even lower than that, but they're trying to prove everyone wrong and get into the top half of the table.
Well, they are, Martin, and there were plenty of positive points to bring out of this performance, and the manager will be hoping that continues.